When you're coached by mom harder than your teammates because that's just what comes with it, or maybe you're held to a different standard because mom's the coach and she wants to make sure everything's above board. How does that feel as both player and daughter?
Um, I think I'll start with the player. As a player, um, it's more of I think I can somewhat now versus earlier on. I can tell, okay, my coach needs me to do this and needs me to do that for my team. And because she knows I'm a leader, she knows I want to lead my team to great things. Um, so that side of it is okay. I like, me personally, for any coach of mine, I like to have direction, structure, sometimes get yelled at if I need to, be put in my place if I need to. Um, but on the other side of that, being a daughter and getting yelled at, that's the hard stuff to pick out, is like, sometimes, is she really pulling me aside because she's upset with me, or is she really pulling me aside because I really messed up as a player? So that can be hard to depict, but there wasn't any moments where it was like really crushing of like, she's really upset at me. It was always, we would talk it out, realize that she was never trying to hurt me, as she's always going to be my mom first. And once I told her how it made me feel, if it made me feel as a player, I would tell my coach, or if it hurt me as, her daughter, then I would tell her and we would discuss it as mom and daughter. So the flipping of hats from mom to coach was hard to figure out, but now it's more of, okay, I need to respect my mom first, and then I also need to respect my coach as well.
When did when were you able to make that switch? Because she did coach you at the younger ages and she's been your coach since 7th grade. It's like it was probably a process, will be my guess. But like what age did you start being able to make those distinctions?
This past season. Yeah, very recently. So
16.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let Audrey go ahead. You go ahead, Audrey.
I'm
very curious what you're going to say, by the way.
It definitely helped having, our last state championship, but I think it was more of this season that really helped me see the mom side out of her. Most of the time, we are at a very competitive program at Forsyth, and so we are go, go, go all the time. So I think the coach side of her is out a lot of the time. So now that I was hurt and got to sit back and look at the way she coaches, and also I think it helped to see how she deals with my younger sister, really helped me open my eyes of how she chooses to coach, but also realizes that she is a mom, and I understand how hard that is. And it's hard to receive just as much. But definitely recently, being able to sit back and see her coach my sister, and how, my sister would react to it in similar ways as me, but realizing my mom wasn't really doing anything, was definitely an eye-opening thing. So not very, very recently was when I was able to, but I'm happy that it happened, even though it wasn't the best way I'd like that to happen, but I'm glad that it did.
I just want to give some space there, see what you were going to say, Julie.
Oh, well, now like I said, I think it's always a process, right? Like, I mean, coaching your own kid is a field of landmines, right? Especially when they're teenagers, because just being a parent of a teenager is hard enough, right? And then you're doubling it. And then, when they're young, you don't want them, because when they're young, right, you don't want them to quit, right? Like we've talked about this before, Jonathan, like where you just want them to give them a lot of really good opportunities. You want to make it fun so they keep coming back. And then once they've decided, like, hey, this is my thing, this is my passion. Okay, now we're going to educate you. And it's not always going to be rosy, but if you love it, you'll get over the humps, and So I think that's kind of the hard part, is like you're growing up and helping them get over the humps, but you're also like teaching them how to be a player through those humps, right? Because, 6 months out of the year, they don't have me as their coach. They are playing at a high level somewhere else. And so, like, I'm full on mom at that point, and I'm watching somebody else coach them and seeing how they engage
What's
and
that
seeing
like?
how that has its own challenges, right? I mean, I think that's really difficult when you're a coach and you have spent a big part of your life being a coach, and then seeing somebody else coach your kid, because every coach argues about, like, like, well, I think we should do this and I think we should do this. I mean, like, like nobody can watch any sports match without tactically saying their opinion, right? So especially coaches, we're the worst. So I think at the end of the day, it's just understanding that, like, that their mission is not to cause harm. Their mission is to make Audrey better. And like I said earlier, I'm never ever going to, even in the toughest situations, and I'm sure Audrey could name a few, where I felt like, this is not like, I'm just not feeling like Audrey's getting her best environment. That happens. We got through it, and that's life, though, isn't it? Like, you're not always going to be handed, Audrey's probably laugh at me right now, because my big thing is about, like, life lessons. Like, you're going to have a boss someday that you don't agree with. You're going to have teammates now that you may not be your best buddies, but you're going to have to play with them. Well, guess what? That's the same way when you get older, And so I think at the end of the day, it's always been like, okay, Audrey, like, so you're not digging this coach. Let's talk about what's good. Like, let's, okay, so that happens. All right. But at the end of the day, their job is not to make your life miserable. So I try to step back and realize that the reason why that person is coaching, even if I disagree with them, there is still very good intent, right? There is, and that's tough. It's really tough, especially if your kid's unhappy. So it's, while though it's great to be their coach, I also see the other side of that external feedback and how they take it.